Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Orlando, and today we're going to be talking about how to keep your vacancy down when it comes to real estate. A lot of times, I speak to brand new owners and their main concern is that they're going to have this huge vacancy that, for half of the year, what if I don't get another person into the unit? And these are just some tips of how I keep individuals and always keep a tenant in the building. So let's get started. So my number one rule is curb appeal. What are you saying, Orlando, about curb appeal? Well, this is what I'm saying. The lawn care is a really big concern, and it's normally the first thing that people see. So if someone pulls up to your property and they're interested in your property based on what they saw in the inside of the property, and they pull up and they see weeds overgrown, or even if it's cut, it's weeds everywhere and the grass is just not manicured, not done right. The rose bushes, the bushes in general aren't really upkept. There's some weeds coming out of the rocks, landscaping and things of that nature. You're already tainting the tenant's vision of what they're going to see when they get inside. They're going to be thinking, I'm going to be staying here and it's going to look bad on the outside. A lot of owners kind of just say, hey, I'm going to leave all the landscaping to the tenant. That's their job. That's not an expense I'm going to incur. And you know what? I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I take a different perspective. So my perspective is this. I want someone to pull up to the property and go, wow, look at that yard. That yard is great. I can see myself living here. They're already putting themselves in the unit. That's what I want. And then once they get in, they never have to worry about the yard. They never have to worry about cutting the grass. They don't have to worry about trimming the hedges. They don't have to worry about keeping a shed or keeping a lawnmower in the back somewhere. They never have to worry about that. And you're going to say, okay, Orlando, well, how does that work? Well, this is how it works. I always charge an additional fee onto the rent of about $50, and $50 is for the lawn care. I normally get charged about $100 for the lawn care. So let's just do the math here real quick. So if I'm charging $50 for 12 months, that is $600, right? $600. So once again, let's do that math. That math is $50 added on to the rent. So $50 for the lawn care, and it's for the whole year, for the lease, 12 months. That equals up to about $600. Then the other portion is I'm only being charged by the lawn care company for 6 months out of the year. So they're charging me $100 for 6 months, which equals out to $600. So it's a wash. The benefit is that I'm not losing money, I'm not gaining money, but the tenant stays in the property longer. And why do they stay in the property longer? And this works especially well with individuals who do not want to take care of lawn care, but want to have a good looking yard. And that normally is individuals that are older, seniors, individuals that are staying by themselves, single females, or, it normally works in that fashion where that group of individuals do not want to deal with lawn care and they have no problem paying the additional $50. But also too, I do not say, look, this is an additional $50 for lawn care. It's just built into the rent. So it's built into the rent. The lawn care is taken care of. And once it's in the tenant's head that I don't have to take care of lawn care and the lawn looks like this, they're sold. It would be different if you added lawn care to it and the lawn looked horrible after it was being cut. The landscaping would just look horrible after it's been cut or the bushes have been trimmed. If you do that, it kind of negates the whole issue of charging someone extra to negate the cost. So once again, the best way of keeping tenants in a unit and getting rid of that pesky vacancy, right, is to make sure that the curb appeal is great. And you can wrap the lawn care for the curb appeal into your rent and it can come out of the wash, and what you gain is an individual who will stay in your property for 2, 3 years. So it's a win situation for you because you're not trying to make money off of lawn care, right? That's not your business, right? Your business is real estate. You're trying to keep the tenant in the property. And that's another tip I want to add is that some owners will get into this realm where they're trying to make money of like the lawn care, trying to level that out where you charge more for the lawn care. I mean, the lawn care expense is lower than what you're charging for it. You get into a situation where you're trying to, take every little small chance and every little penny out of trying to make a profit. And you want to just focus your efforts on what you do best, which is the real estate. Number 2, this is a good one too, is when I'm trying to replace things or when I'm including things into the property, I always use premium items. And not only do I use premium items, I use premium items that will last long. And if you are a property owner, you have seen where you go into properties and owners use, the most standard products that normally break down every 2 years and whatnot. And all of my properties, I automatically, if I can get rid of carpet, I get rid of carpet. Why? Because I don't want the smells. I don't want to replace carpet every 2 years. I don't want individuals to come into my property and go, wow, the smell, the carpet is torn here. So I normally put hardwood floors or the laminate hardwood floors in my properties, and they last. It costs a little bit more, right? But the look is premium. Also, the wear and tear of the laminate floors lasts so much longer than, if you were to just put carpet in over and over and over and over again. So you're getting 2 things out of this, right? You're getting something that you won't have to replace over and over and over again. Then you have the tenant saying, wow, the property just looks, this has so many good premium amenities, has hardwood floor instead of carpet and blah, blah, blah. It just looks so much better. And once again, what are you getting? You're getting the tenant putting in their head, I can see myself staying here for a long period of time. Let's go ahead and use another example. If you were to do the landscaping and you decided, you know what, I'm going to put mulch all around the property. Mulch is cheap. You have to do it every year. You have to replace it all the time or it looks kind of dried out and it looks just bad. But you have to replace it every season. But if you spent a little bit more, you could use rock. And when you use rock, you don't have to replace it every year. You put it down and it's easy maintainable. If weeds grow through it, you spray with Roundup and it's done. You don't have to consistently maintain it. But also too, once again, rock looks premium. Rock is crisp. It looks good to the eye. Individuals walk through and they see stone, brick. It looks good. There's a big correlation between materials used and the price of a home. A brick home would be more expensive than a home that just has siding or wood or anything like that, right? So you take these little tips here and you add this to your property, and I promise you, if you have a high vacancy, it will drop down. You just have to add just a little bit, and these aren't expensive things. If you go and you compare the prices of, mulch to rock, it's not really a big difference, right? It really isn't. Maybe the upfront cost is a little bit more, but the maintenance and longevity is a lot less. So make sure you kind of look at those and see if those 2 tips that I've just given you, number 1, number 2, really help you. But let's get on to number 3. Okay, so number 3, you have to respond to maintenance calls quickly. Okay, this is a big one because I use property management, right? If you watch my older videos, you would know that I am a big advocate of using property management because of time and whatnot else. The thing is that I am on top of my property management to say, look, if a tenant calls you and they need a maintenance issue solved, you need to jump on it ASAP. I will not tolerate a property management team that does not respond to maintenance calls. They wait 3, 4, 5 days to respond to a maintenance call. And the only way that they respond to a maintenance call quick, if it's an emergency, a pipe burst or, or something really dramatic happens to where they have to get to it now. I don't like that. That's not what we're going to do. I won't keep you as a property management company if that's the way that you do your property management. When a tenant calls you for my property and says, my garbage disposal has stopped, I expect the management company to respond in a quick manner. And the reason why this is important is because tenants, and if you've ever been a tenant, which I have, and rented from someone, which I have, you know that when you call about something that disrupts your life, you're expecting it to be done quickly. And if you continuously have a hard time getting in contact with someone who can come fix the issue, let it be, garbage disposal or toilet leaking or whatever it may be, you think to yourself, why am I staying here? Can I go somewhere else where I don't have to deal with this? I'm tired of calling these guys and nobody responds. I don't want my tenants to think that way. I want my tenants to say, you know what? When I call the maintenance shows up. So in their mind, they think to themselves, you know what? This is great. The only reason why I'm leaving this property is because of something else that has nothing to do with how the property looks, how the property functions, and how well the maintenance is done on the property. Most of my tenants only leave my properties because they're moving. I'm moving out of state, or something comes up to where they can no longer be there. Every time I speak to a tenant before they leave, they always tell me, I love this property. I would have never left if I didn't get a new job in another state, or I didn't get a new job that was an hour or 2 hours away. And that's what you want to hear from your tenants, that they love staying at your property. And it's because you take care of them. You're taking care of all of their needs. You are showing them like, look, staying here is carefree. And a lot of times individuals will say that and say, man, Orlando, that sounds like a lot. But I promise you, it is not a lot. I make good money on my properties. The profit I make on them is great. I would not have it any other way. I make money in 2 ways. That is appreciation and cash flow. So it's doing great. And this is with using all of these tips here. So once again, like I said, third tip is to just make sure that if you're going to do the maintenance yourself, or if you're going to use a property management, stay on top of the maintenance, because maintenance is key. One of the key things to avoid people running from your property are going to leave your property to another property. The worst thing is someone leaving your property to go to the exact same property that they were just in. Someone leaves a 1-bedroom apartment to go to another 1-bedroom apartment, especially if they're paying more, and you just think to yourself, what did I do wrong? Why aren't they not staying in my property? So you want to avoid those things by making sure you keep up on the maintenance. Last but not least, number 4 is extending leases. Allowing leases to be longer than the 1-year term. A lot of owners don't like doing this because they want to be able to charge more on the yearly rent on a 1-year lease. So they don't want to offer a 2-year lease because that's 2 times they could have raised the rent. So they don't want to really do the longer leases. But I use this tip in a way that benefits me. So I normally do 1-year leases. Sometimes, you come along and an individual is leaving, and when they leave like in August, or they leave in July, and then maybe you find someone else and they won't be able to sign the lease or get started until September or something like that. I do not want an individual to sign a lease in September and then let's just say worst case scenario, because this is a tactic that you use. It's planning. You're planning that in the worst case scenario, the tenant will leave in September also. So they're only going to do 1-year lease, right? I don't want that to happen. And the reasons why I don't want that to happen is because when you get to September, you're getting into that winter month time, and it is hard, guys. It is hard to rent out a property in the winter. No one really is looking for a place in the winter. Most people are just buckled in and trying to stay where they're at. So I don't want any parts of trying to rent a place in September, in the winter, in the holiday times. I don't want any of that. So what I do is I say, hey, tenant, look, can you sign a 1.5 year lease? Because if you sign a 1.5 year lease at the same amount that you have, it'll put me in a better position. So let's just do the counting. So 6 months past September will be October, November, December, January, February, March. March is a great time to put a property up for rent. So I took myself out of September, going year to year, and putting myself in a position where I have to rent in the winter month, and then possibly not having anybody to rent to until January comes around, or having to drop the rent to get someone into a property to make it really enticing for the winter time. And instead, I've maximized the length of time of having a tenant by 6 months. And then if that individual decides to leave, if that person decides to leave, I'm right back in the hot spot of renting a property in the best time of the year. So the chances of me having a vacancy are low. So these are just some of the tips that I really want you to take a look at. And if you're interested in beginner's course in real estate, I do have the course, and it is in the link in the description. And if you're interested in that, please click on that link and sign up. If you guys have any questions about that, just comment, try to answer as many questions as possible. If you're interested in real estate at a beginner level, this is a great course for you. I did it myself. I tried to break things down as easy as possible. If this is something that you really want to get into, I mean, it starts there, guys. Go ahead and click that link at the bottom and get started today. I'm telling you, you will really enjoy it. So once again, guys, if you enjoyed this content, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like and notification button. So when I release videos like this, you will be notified, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks.